What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of our mock draft 4.0 top 30, presented by Between the Lines Sports. I'm your host, James Ivy Williams, founder and CEO of Between the Lines Sports. And today we've got a little twist for you. My staff here at Between the Lines Sports of about 20 interns scattered across the world have all done this by themselves. I have no say in anything that they've done. I haven't even seen the list, but I want you guys to give it a good look, give us your feedback and your insight, and be nice to my guys, please. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at BTL Hoops. Visit our website so you can see our top list of 1 through 60 and then our 61 through 100 big board, all on our website, www.btlhoops.org. And stay tuned for more content just like this. Talk to you guys soon. Peace.
All right. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Between the Lines Sports staff mock draft. We're really excited to be here. We'll be going through prospects 1 through 30 and slating the teams according to Tankathon's order. And without further ado, let's get started. Yanni for short, regional scout in Canada for BTL Sports, and excited to be here. So at number 1, no surprise, we have Victor Wembanyama on our board. He's a versatile 7'3" big man, can do a little bit of everything. The only thing really that you can nitpick in his game is the lack of strength. But when you look at his frame, you know that's going to come along with the ball handling and the shooting. He can really do a little bit of everything on the court. And as he develops, he's just going to be a real problem in the NBA. The team we have taking Victor Wembanyama is the Detroit Pistons. If you look at the Pistons roster, you might be a little bit confused because they have so many centers on their team. But that could actually serve as a benefit because they have Cade and Ivy as the main ball handlers, and then you have Victor as the big man just kind of doing his thing. He'll be able to play off of them and he'll be able to handle the ball. And when it comes to the plenty of big men they have, they can kind of help Victor be more comfortable in the NBA, similar to how Evan Mobley was helped by Jarrett Allen in Cleveland. So I really like that fit and look forward to seeing it happen if it does. At number 2, we have Scoot Henderson out of G League Ignite. Really excited about Scoot. Got to see him live in person. He's a really athletic two-way guard, can do a little bit of everything, has a nice indicators of having a shooting touch in the future, although it's not there yet. And his lack of size, he's about 6'2", 6'3", might be intimidating, but when you see his wingspan, he looks like a hawk basically, so that's nothing to worry about for me. And the team we have taking Scoot is the San Antonio Spurs. I really like the fit with the Spurs because they just have a lot of space and a lot of good players that are developing within their roles. So Scoot can come in, be the lead ball handler and kind of lead this young San Antonio team while being able to experiment and grow his game.
Hello, I'm Aaron Lord. I am the DMV scouting analyst for Between the Lines Sports. With the 3rd pick, we have Brandon Miller being selected by the Houston Rockets. Brandon Miller is an excellent shooter. He has a case for being one of the best shooters in this draft class. And his strengths on the offensive side of the ball were pretty evident this season. Shooting, being able to get downhill, starting to finish at the rim, a lot of things that he improved on as the season went, as well as a little bit of passing flashes as well, the later the season progressed. His fit with the Houston Rockets, he helps provide floor spacing, something the Rockets struggle with as well, and then also just adding more length and size to that team.
And at number 4, we have Jarace Walker. Jarace Walker is a really interesting prospect. The easiest way to describe him is as a Swiss Army knife because he just does a little bit of everything. He averaged over 1 block, 1 steal, a couple assists, 11 points. He just does whatever his team needed him to do. The biggest thing with Jarace is that while he does have a big body, he's not fully comfortable with using it, and he doesn't have the best jump shot. But his playmaking in the short roll and all that stuff are there. He has all the indicators of being a winning player. And even when it comes to his jump shot, he has shown a lot of indicators that he has nice touch, such as his floater. For a good chunk of the year, he was shooting a little bit over 40%. It came down since then, but there's a lot of indicators there. And the team we have Jarace going to is the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets, it's a good fit in my opinion because they're a team that historically are interested in being competitive. So Jarace can come in, fit in a role with LaMelo Ball, and kind of fill in for the defensive mishaps that may be there on the perimeter.
My name is Isaiah Giles. I'm the Southeast Regional Analyst for Between the Lines Sports. Okay, and with our 5th pick in the draft, we have Amen Thompson going to Portland Trail Blazers. And Amin is just an athletic freak on the court. He's able to defend multiple positions. His defense can be a little inconsistent at times, especially when off the ball. He likes to gamble a lot, and sometimes those gambles leads to easy buckets for the team. I also like to say that Amin on offense is very good going downhill. His athleticism and his quick first step allows him to get to the rim with ease. We'd like to see Amin shoot the ball better. He's not someone that you would say is a liability on the team. Teams may game plan to gap him instead of leaving him wide open, but it's something that I think he can improve on over time. And just the biggest strength for him is his defensive potential. And on offense, of course, he has the ability to have a good feel for playmaking. So him being in Portland alongside Dame, he's just a threat at cutting, slashing to the basket, being able to get up and down the court, and of course taking that defensive pressure off of Dame. Him being able to guard the best ball handler and make it hard for him, while Dame is able to take the lesser role on defense and just be able to save his energy for the other side of the floor, I think would be tremendous for Portland.
At number 6, we have Grady Dick going to the Orlando Magic. Grady Dick is another player who has a strong case for being the best shooter in this draft class, and he really flourishes in the off-ball role. He's a good cutter. He's a good movement shooter. He moves around a lot off the ball. That's something I really think Orlando could use with already having a primary creator in Paolo Banchero. And then also he's a smart team defender. He has good hands, quick hands, and he kind of just knows where to be on the basketball floor.
All right, with the number 7 pick, we have the Washington Wizards taking Cason Wallace, a defensive-minded guard that can guard 1 through 3, being able to put a lot of pressure on the ball coming up the floor, making the guards turn multiple times before getting up the floor. One thing I like about Cason's defense is the ability to get his hands on different passes and different shot takes. Being able to block shots at the rim, contest at the rim, alter shots. He does a lot for his frame, being only 6'4". As you can see in his game, he's a very mature guard, being able to play make on the offensive end, take good shots, doesn't force shots. A lot of times in UK, he was looking for different players, trying to get them going, and then eventually he'll get into his game. I believe Cason has a bigger bag than we have saw this year. And with Washington playing alongside Bradley Beal, I think that's a perfect fit. Him being able to guard the primary ball handler, giving Bradley Beal that break, so Bradley can be himself on offense, and Cason just being able to be that glue piece that can play, make, knock down shots, and defend on the other end. I just think it's a perfect fit for Washington Wizards, finding a guard that can get them into sets and play defense as mature as Cason does. And with the 8th pick, we have Sar Thompson going to the Indiana Pacers. It's another athletic wing guard that can be able to guard 1 through 3. Biggest strength is being able to play defense. His biggest potential when he gets to the league is being able to be that guard or that wing with size that's able to move his feet and use his hands well to disrupt either the playmaking guard or a wing. I really like this fit for him going to Indiana, being alongside Halliburton, and of course they have Buddy Hield, so they have shooting to make up for his lack of shooting right now. Which I think he's not a liability. Being able to spot up is something I think he can knock down consistently, especially with other teams keying in on Buddy Hield and Halliburton and even Miles Turner when he steps out. I believe Sar Thompson is one of those guards that are able to play off the ball, slash, be able to play make, and of course his defense alongside Halliburton would be a nice backcourt that'll be able to cause some trouble in the league.
At number 9, we have Keontae George to the Utah Jazz. Keontae George just kind of has the feel of like a professional scorer. He looks natural with the ball in his hands. He was great in the pick and roll this year. He's pretty good as a spot-up shooter as well. And he's the type of person where you're in a crunch, you're in a bad shot clock situation, something like that. He's kind of the player you want with the ball in his hands. He can make something out of nothing in bad situations. I think he fits well with Utah Jazz. They're a good upstart young team, but they lack a true perimeter weapon and like a go-to person with the ball in their hands since getting rid of Donovan Mitchell. And I think Keontae George can be that for them. At number 10, we have Cam Whitmore going to the Dallas Mavericks. Cam Whitmore is a physical specimen on the court. He has long arms. They're strong. He's not a skinny player by any means, and his athleticism pops on the court. He's extremely explosive as a straight line driver and finishing at the rim. And he's also shown a little bit of shot creation as the season progressed, getting into his step back jumper and a little bit of things off the dribble. I think if he can really get his shot down and his mechanics, then he can really become an impact player. Defensively, it's just about his motor. He has the tools for it. He just needs to consistently play hard at that end. And I think the fit with the Mavericks it works really well with Luka being your primary on-ball creator and Cam just bringing defensive physicality and some off-ball creation and movement as well.
For the 11th pick, OKC will get Taylor Hendricks. Taylor Hendricks is a 3-and-D forward. He could guard possibly 1 through 5 in people's eyes. He can protect the rim, guard the perimeter, and he's definitely just another versatile player OKC has to help with defense and help the team grow, and a good partner with Chet Holmgren under the rim.
Hey y'all, I'm Garrett Johnson. I'm the Northern California scout for BTL Sports. At number 12, we got Orlando taking Dariq Whitehead out of Duke. Right now, Orlando's looking for guys who could just do a little bit of everything, get into the dirty work, play multiple positions. Dariq is a guy who can play that. He can play the 2, he can play a little bit of the 3. And he's just proven throughout his career he's willing to do anything that his team asks of him. That was his reputation at Montverde. And at Duke, he showed that he has a stroke.
So the 13th pick, the Toronto Raptors select Jalen Hood-Schifino. He's a versatile guard who's really strong in the pick and roll, great passer, and very versatile as a defender as well. He played a huge role for the Indiana Hoosiers this year and jumped up a lot of boards because of his passing and his ability to catch and shoot, and also lead that offense in the tournament this year, and showed a lot of maturity for a freshman guard. So versatile, strong guard, and very versatile defensively. So
at number 14, we've got the New Orleans Pelicans taking Bilal Coulibaly out of France. Played for the same team as Wemby this year, has been a late riser, a guy who's been talked about as possible returner, top 10 guy next year. He brings elite perimeter defense to the table while being a guy who can really excel in an off-ball role. Guy who just does the little things that you love in a role player, and a guy who's taking the top offensive guard on the opposing team in France for a team that's trying to compete and doing a great job of it. So New Orleans gets another elite perimeter defender here at number 14.
And at number 15, we have the Atlanta Hawks selecting Jordan Hawkins. Jordan Hawkins is probably the best off-ball shooter in this class, I would say personally. Coming off movement, coming off screens, things like that, he's very much automatic, or at least has been this past year. And he really does a good job of drawing a lot of gravity. He has like a shooting gravity to him. Coming off screens, if you're not attached to him, if you're not knowing where he is on the floor, then he will really make you pay. So I think with the team like the Atlanta Hawks, where you have already 2 stars who can dominate on the ball with DeJounte and Trey, having a player like Jordan Hawkins being able to just move around, keep things from getting stagnant offensively, and getting open for he has 2 great playmakers to help get him the ball, I think he can do very well in that system.
And for the 16th pick, the Utah Jazz would draft Anthony Black. They're getting a very diverse defender, could guard 1 through 3, good hands, plays very physical, so he could help out at the rim, but his strong suit is being able to just be a very diverse defender, as well as being a very good playmaker. He's able to get his team involved. He's working on his shooting, but his physical style of play on the defensive end does show up on offense, the way he just drives to the paint. So I think the Utah Jazz will be gaining a very diverse guard who could help out in multiple aspects. And for the 17th pick, we got the Los Angeles Lakers, everybody's favorite, getting Nick Smith. The Lakers do need some scoring. Nick Smith is able to create some floaters. He's able to catch and shoot as well. If you need him to play make, he's able to do that. So the Lakers are getting another scoring player on their team, and Nick Smith will be gladly to be able to just help LeBron out and score and facilitate as much as he can.
For the 18th pick, the Miami Heat will select Bryce Sensabaugh from Ohio State University. Bryce was one of the most efficient freshmen this year, and he plays his role really, really well. He's phenomenal at catch and shoot. He can pull up off the dribble. He can attack the rim. He does an exceptional job at just creating contact at 6'5", 235 or 6'6", 235. He's phenomenal at just creating contact, and his quickness and switchability is really good defensively as well. His biggest attribute is just his shooting ability. He will just bring that to Miami, be able to help them just have another shooter on the floor, be able to stretch the floor to really alleviate some from Butler and some of the other guys in their front court, so they can stretch the floor more with him and have a physical wing/guard who can do that for them.
So with the 19th pick, we have the Houston Rockets selecting Derek Lively. You get a 7-footer that you compare nicely with Sengun and Jabari Smith. He's a great rebounder. He's a guy who's had a couple games with 5+ blocks. He's gonna, finish well around the rim, be a lob threat, and just really provide that, good interior presence to kind of either block a shot or deter a shot. So
at number 20, we have the Golden State Warriors taking an eclectic player in Leonard Miller. Definitely an interesting player to watch, a Swiss Army knife of all guys. Biggest things that he does that stand out are really his floor awareness. Coming from being an original guard before he had a growth spurt that shot him up in sophomore year. He's definitely a guy that's going to be able to space out the floor, not really with a shot, just with a lot of screen assists, being able to be an interior presence, a good putback guy. And I think just the way he runs his offense, it's mainly a transition kind of like quick cut and lob kind of guy. That's going to work out perfectly in Golden State, where in their G League affiliate in Santa Cruz, he'll still be able to mold to the player that I think he really can be, both offensively and defensively, not doing too much, just really being a player to blossom on the interior side and using some of these weirder kind of like guard-like movements in that big frame body of his to be able to still, be a good player within that system that Golden State has moving the ball around.
So at number 21, we had the Brooklyn Nets taking Kobe Bufkin out of Michigan, 6'4" combo guard who's been a late riser, mainly because he's taken a much larger on-ball role at Michigan and really excelled at it. A guy who's flashed 3-level scoring and some really innovative shot making, seems to see the floor very well. And before he took on a larger on-ball role, he was also taking on the top offensive player from 25 feet and following them all around the court and really doing a great job as a primary defender. So he offers two-way potential, both for his 3-level shot making and for potential defensive versatility.
And for the 22nd pick, the Brooklyn Nets would have G.G. Jackson, another Swiss Army knife on the offensive end. He's able to play face up. He's able to space the floor. He has a good explosiveness to slash as well. I think he just has to prove on the defensive end and the rebounding end and just, show more impact. He is young, so Brooklyn Nets will have a developing player, but also somebody who can space the floor for the team and create more offense for him.
Yeah. With the 23rd pick, we have the Portland Trailblazers selecting Colby Jones out of Xavier. I think he fits what they're looking for pretty well. It's a strong-bodied wing guard, kind of off guard. Defends the ball very well. This year he shot the ball pretty well, so I think that's a big thing going forward. If the shot can be legit, and I think as like a off-ball complementary piece, whether they keep Damian Lillard or whether they, fully hand over the keys to Anthony Simons and Shaedon Sharpe, I think as a complementary piece, he fits there very well, just doing a lot of the little things well. He's decent in pick and roll, getting to the basket. Catch and shoot, that would be a big for him. If he can really turn into a knockdown, spot up shooter, then I think he'll really slot in with that team very well.
With the 24th pick, we have the Sacramento Kings taking Chris Murray. Kind of similar to brother Keegan Murray. He shows ability to score out the dribble. Can be a decent spot up shooter. Can post up smaller players. I think his biggest quality that he brings is his ability to score off the ball and off the ball actions, and different, movements that he can do. A solid rebounder, and just a guy that can be versatile on defense, versatile on offense. I think will fit right in there, along with his brother and along with, the rest of the Kings players that doesn't really take up too much of the ball.
And at pick 25, we have the Memphis Grizzlies selecting Jalen Wilson from Kansas. Biggest thing with them would be fit. Jalen Wilson's been shooting 30% from beyond the arc this year, and especially from 30% in Big 12 competition this season. So just to show how much of, a shooter he is, he actually went up in his 3-point percentage from last year. So this is definitely a guy at 6'8" with a 6'10" wingspan that has shown significant improvements in the offensive end and defensive end. And I think he's just going to be able to be a plug-and-play player with the Grizzlies, given he has all the ability to be a good defensive player. And the fact that he's been able to have a defensive field goal percentage this year of 31%, I think it shows that there is improvement with his frame, and that isn't just a three-point kind of player. He's a player that you can mold to a legitimate defender, to guard bigger threes and even quicker twos.
At number 26, we have the Indiana Pacers taking Day'Ron Holmes out of Dayton. And to be honest with you, I think this is just and this is a pick that is turning the page for them. I think it's being, that they're moving on. They may be looking to move on from Miles Turner in the future. You may not want to have to pay him. You're getting a very similar player in Day'Ron Holmes. He is 6'10", 225, and he's a floor runner. He can get up and down the floor really well. He doesn't always crash the glass on the defensive end, but that's because he's already sprinting up and down the court, getting early position to score quickly. In every category, he's improved this year. He's improved from 12 points a game to 18 points per game. And in his efficiency from the field, he's over 55%, almost 60% from the field as a sophomore. Coming out of AZ Prep, he also didn't shoot the ball. He didn't know if he could shoot the ball well. In his freshman year, went from 16% to 31% from the field, and free throw shooting improved as well by from 58 to 66. And I just think he can kind of help bridge the gap during that time. Whether they bring Miles Turner back, whether they move on from him, he's going to be just a good staple player to have them come in, and he's just phenomenal at his role. I do want to see him improve a little bit on the offensive end, but I think defensively, just his shot blocking, his transition play, and he's one of the best and most interesting prospects in this class later on in the first round.
All right. With the 27th pick, we have the Charlotte Hornets taking Terquavion Smith, North Carolina native, so they've been able to see him and, watch his development. I think he'll be a really good fit here. A guy who can create his own shot, can kind of take some pressure off LaMelo at times, being able to handle the ball. And although he's not a true point guard, I've seen him show ability to make really good reads coming out of pick and roll situations, and just be that secondary ball handler that I think he can grow into. And then, like I said, shot creating ability is pretty good. So fit well right in Charlotte.
All right, at number 28, we've got Utah taking Max Lewis out of Pepperdine. 6'7", elite shooter. Can get his shot prep is just outstanding. He can get into his shot from a number of looks. Confident shot creator. I think that right now the biggest question mark is defense, but with Utah, he's in a good learning environment to become a better defender in the league. And the next question for him will be how good his defensive outcome can be. He's got ideal wing size. And also, what can he do as an on-ball creator? But for now, he has a nice fit in Utah as an off-ball shooter who can get open in a number of ways. At number 29, we've got Indiana taking Brandon Pajemski out of Santa Clara. Personal favorite prospect of mine. He's a do-it-all 6'5" guard. Has had a lot of on-ball responsibility at Santa Clara. A good game manager. Can score from multiple levels. There are questions about how good he'll be getting to the rim, but he's got a great mid-range game, a great three-point shot. And he's a really smart defender. He's got a little bit of athletic limitations that knock him back to the end of the first year, but he's a very smart defender that makes a lot of great plays off ball. And he just profiles as a great point guard facilitator or second guard facilitator, someone that can come off the bench and immediately contribute. Indiana just drafted Andrew Nembhard. They like guys like this, and it's a good fit, I think, for the Pacers.
And for the 30th pick, the Los Angeles Clippers would draft Noah Clowney. Noah Clowney would fit in perfect with this team, knowing there's a lot of good bigs out in the West. They have Zubac, they got Plumlee to add a stretch forward who could also protect the rim and also space the floor out for Kawhi and PG and Westbrook if he's possibly on the team. I think you just add an extra rim protection and you add more defense to your team. They have Marquise Morris, but he's getting older in age, but you add another player that could fit in Tyronn Lue's system to play that hard defense and play his role of stretching the floor out and just be able to guard 3 through 5 is definitely a big help for the team. Thank y'all guys for watching our mock draft. We'll see y'all soon for our next mock draft, and make sure y'all like and subscribe. Thank you.